I didn't want to tell anyone that I had a porn addiction. I didn't want to tell anyone that I relied on alcohol. I didn't want to tell people that I needed to down some Mucinex to get knocked out so I could sleep and it would give me awesome dreams. I didn't want to tell people that you see me as this, but I'm very irritable and quick to anger with my children. I didn't want to show people that. I didn't want to tell people that. And then I remember I heard a dude come out and say this, and it was an older guy, wasn't even in the military, that he struggled with these things. I was like, I'm not alone. And it was just like eye-opening. And like we keep these things to ourselves and we think we're protecting ourselves, but actually what we're doing is we're sabotaging ourselves. Is we've got to bring that darkness out, and you got to deal with it. We as tough dudes, especially in my spec ops community, being tough dudes, right? Because we're tough dudes, but we're not when it comes with dealing with this stuff. And that's like, that's a man is dealing with that stuff, is dealing with those things of like, I've got some stuff I need to deal with. And one of those things is like vomiting, hey, I need help over here. And that a lot of guys won't do it. They struggle with it. But once they do it, or if they choose, because it's a choice, to talk about these things and deal with it, whatever that might be, there is huge relief and the burden is removed. And for me, that was like where my start, like my walk with Jesus is like, okay, wait a second, you're a lot realer than I thought. And oh my gosh, your word's true. Oh my gosh, like, okay, the Holy Spirit is real and I can't ask for your help and you'll show me. Now, what I want you to show me and how you show me are two different things. But nonetheless, you take me on this path, this journey, and start removing these bondages and addictions to where I don't need alcohol anymore. I don't need pills anymore. I need you. I need to pray to you and you'll show me.
Yeah, can you describe the moment when you felt the weight lift, being unburdened by this? Because I think a lot of the guys who watch this are carrying burdens. I think people who are searching for the help are carrying those burdens, and it's impacting their life, and they know it. I think that a lot of the guys have some awareness, but I don't think they understand the reward speaking about those burdens.
Yeah, they don't. But they, at least for me, was like, I can't say this because I'm going to look weak. Yeah. I'm not going to be, or I would think, these are the lies. I'm not going to be what you think I am. And that's a problem, is I shouldn't really care what another person thinks about me, because they're all going to have different opinions based off of their opinions, based off of what they were called or talked to or what traumas they dealt with. I need to care about what he says about me. I got to go to truth. And truth isn't what that person says or what that person thinks. It's what he says. It's what he thinks.
I know it's worth it. Like I know it is, of course you know it's worth it. But to these guys who are on the other side of it, fearing, outing themselves for these addictions that they have or these burdens that they carry, how do you convince them?
I wouldn't say it's not convincing. It's just like, we gotta seek that truth. And that truth is with the Lord. Is, okay, what does the Lord say about that? Because here's an example. I tell myself I need to cope because I've had a stressful day, or I don't know what to do anymore because I can't operate, so I go to booze. And I can't sleep so I need pills. And I need satisfaction or something to keep my mind off of the things that are playing, so I'm going to run to the internet and self-gratify there, or whatever it may be, right? I have all these excuses. I'm believing all this BS is really what it's coming down to. Because that's what the world's telling me. That's what, if I turn on Netflix or Hulu or go watch a movie, that's what it's telling me. Then I won't do movies or TV. I'll turn on my radio instead. The radio and the songs and the music is telling me the same exact thing. Everything's telling me these things, the billboards, the commercials, all of it's saying, here's how you deal with it. Rough day, go drink. Rough day, go smoke this. Rough day, you want to deal with your traumas? Take this pill. Want to lose weight? Take this drug. Is that dealing with the situation or the problem? No, you eat like crap and you need to go work out. But we want to Band-Aid everything. We want the easy one. We're a culture of McDonald's drive-through. I want it right now. I want it easy, and I want it yesterday. That's not how this works. And if people are afraid to put their foot forward and say, I don't want to have this issue anymore. I don't want to be tied down to this bondage anymore. I don't have to rely on this. Wouldn't it be great? Just be like, hey, like, for example, when I was drinking, there was times I remember drinking, I didn't want to drink. I'd be like, wouldn't this be great if I just didn't feel like I needed to drink because it was socially acceptable and I felt like that's how I had to deal with things? Like, if I had a mindset like that to where I wouldn't need it, and that's what happened. But it came once I surrendered it all, admitting I can't do this alone. And I remember I was in this garage right here working out. And I didn't know this at the time. My wife was in the closet praying, which she's been doing for, I don't know how long. I didn't know anything about this at the time. She was doing this behind my back. Darn her. Thought we're supposed to keep it all in the open. But she was praying for me. And I remember that we'll just go here is we went, it was a Monday. I remember it was a Monday because on Sunday we went to church. And I remember us sitting next to each other, but we had like an argument, and it was probably because I was drinking. And she was on this chair and I was on this chair, but she was like on her side of her chair and I was on my side of my chair. And so there's like this well-placed gap. Don't touch me, right? I'm irritated with you. And I remember I took a picture and I posted about it. And I remember because I knew better. It was like I should, instead of like keeping that distance, what I should have done if I was more of a man, I should have came in and tried to bridge that gap. It's like, hey babe, I'm sorry, or whatever it was, and tried to build it together and not to keep that divide. But I posted about that. And I remember I was driving to jiu-jitsu at the time, and my mom called me and she was like, I can't believe you posted that about your wife. And it wasn't like shame on her. It was actually calling myself out. I was like, I should have done something differently. And I was fired up. And then I go into jiu-jitsu and I get rolled around, probably get tapped out a couple times. And I get back in my car and I have to go to a counseling appointment out of all places. Cause I like had to go do talk therapy and EMDR and all these other things to, not brain spotting. It's, there's another name for it. But my mom, I called my mom back to finish the conversation. And I was like, don't tell me. Because I remember she said, my friends reached out to me and they couldn't believe. And I'm like, I don't care about your friends, what they think about, or what they think they know about my life or my marriage. Which I did put it out there, but it was really stating like, hey, I should do better here, but I'm not. And I'm choosing not to, enough to where I was like posting about it. And I was fired up because I just got done getting wrapped up by some other dude and then going to this counseling session, which was really the real jujitsu in my opinion, because I had to deal with my feelings, I had to deal with my thoughts and my emotions, which I wasn't good at. And I talk about this all the time. And I talk about it in the book, I believe, as well. I'm not good at it. I can take care of bad guys in the flesh, but when it comes up here, I sometimes struggle. And especially when it comes with women's emotions of doing what I probably should be doing, but I don't know the correct way. And you just, come into go this way, go that way scenarios, many cross sections. And so I'm explaining this, as I guess I am right now, to my counselor. And this was years ago. And she goes, and she's never said anything like this to me before. This is straight up Holy Spirit. She's like, you are the angriest man that I've ever met. And I literally said, that makes me very mad. And she you could tell when she said that, she's like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. But I'm like, and I was like, I don't understand because I don't yell. I don't like go around yelling at people and my kids and my wife and all this stuff. She goes, you don't need to yell at anyone to be an angry person. And I'm like, man, I was like, there's some truth to what she's speaking here. And it's just, I like stayed. And I remember one of the thoughts that I had was my drinking. And I came home and I didn't know which way was up. I was like that time where you're so like for me, when I get so irritated, I don't know what I should go do. I got to go do something. So I would go, I'm going to default. I'll go work out. So I went out into my gym and I remember having suicidal thoughts of like, I'm going to go get my gun and I'm just going to shoot my eyeball and just be done with it. And I remember calling a buddy that was with one of our SEAL foundations. And I was like, dude, I need something. I need some more something. And this is like after the book came out. So spoiler alert, like we're going into another one. This is kind of like the start of the other one, I believe. Because I didn't have it figured out. I was going through more. There was just something still there that I was struggling with. And I called a buddy. I was like, dude, I need some help. And he's like, all right, I'll get some medical doctors, or we'll try to do some things or some therapies or all these things. And I hung up the phone and I remember I put it down and I remember standing in the middle of my gym. And I was like, man, I thought I'd been here. And I was like, dude, I surrender. I can't do this. I remember crying out to God. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't want to have a thought of putting another gun into my face. I don't want this thought. And like just the weirdest thing is like this peace came over me about a minute or two later as I'm like contemplating these thoughts. I'm like, I don't even want the thoughts to even think the thought was like bad. And I remember I texted my wife. I was like, I want all the alcohol. I don't want to drink anymore. I'm done. I would like to get it all out of the house. And I didn't know this, dude. She, at that very moment, she was praying for me. And she comes through this door, and when I'm at the gym, I'm not expecting her. I'm expecting her to come with guns blazing because she's mad at me or something. She comes out in tears. And she was in the closet praying for this, and we like hug. And she's like, I've been praying for this. I'm like, you've been praying for what? Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, about the drinking and all this stuff. And I'm like, are you cool if I get rid of everything? Like our wine, because we had a like wine fridge and I would put my wine in to make sure it's at a good temperature. And she's like, sure. And it's been like now from this recording has been like 2 years and like 9 months. And that is like dealing with it. It wasn't like dealing with it with modern day medicines. I mean, it was therapy, it was all these other people, but I really believe it was a true surrender to the Lord, admitting I cannot do this. I need you. And from that day, all these things started happening.